This episode is brought to you by our friends at Bike Speed UK. Any Jambo using the promo code This Is My Story will get 10% off at checkout.
For every biker's every need, think Bike Speed UK. From motorcycle parts and accessories to the best biker wear. Think bike, think Bike Speed UK.
Simon, boys, you alright?
Hey, good man.
Alright, how's it going?
Good.
How we doing? How we doing?
Welcome back to the new and improved This Is My
Well,
Story podcast.
Let's
Hopefully.
let's
this
not
works.
go making too many big promises just yet. We've been at this an hour and a half now, and it's a house of cards. I'll not kid you on.
Aye. We'll persevere. We'll try and power through. For anybody that's only listens, you can now check us out. I believe we're going to be on YouTube. This is going to be our first attempt at we'll say live, but it's not going to be live because we'll edit it or whatever. But we're now on the world of you can actually see who we are.
I'm sure about it, like episode 13 we said that was going to happen.
We did, but then Tam, you were a lazy sod and just didn't want to do any of the video editing, and you cried it off. So it was all your fault. So I've researched this over the weekend and figured out how to do
That
it.
doesn't sound like me, man.
So you've got me to thank.
You're normally so thorough. I've also just clicked as well that there'll be so many people that listen to the podcast that will have clicked onto this and went, I fucking know that wank if you think that's right. So, alright lads.
Nice to meet you all.
If you see us in and around Tynecastle, just please.
But this is also
ignore
really
us.
good because when the
Ignore
world
us.
gets back to normal, everybody knows what we look like. So there will just be a solid line of drinks at the bar whenever we walk into a pub in Galway, if you know.
Or what I smash us.
We'll just get rid of
I'm gonna go with the latter. I'm gonna go. Oh, aye. Just remember who says what. Our names are underneath us now, so you can who we are. So in case pals. Anyway, aye, cool. How's your week's been, Ando? What you been up
Figuring
to?
out how to do all of this. So I've not kid you on. Took quite a few hours over the weekend to figure it all out. Sorry, and as I say, it's a house of cards. It could fail miserably at any minute. Move on.
Yeah, that was good. Tam, how are you feeling? How many shits have you done today?
None, mate.
Alright,
Just been really good. I'm completely ignoring that.
Do you want to
Okay,
plug?
move
Do you want to plug where you had your dinner and see if people want to get something to eat?
Nah, there was a Chinese in Bathgate that didn't do me a good turn this weekend, so I'm not drinking any butter beer or anything tonight. It's just the water. So
Aye. If you're looking for any COVID deals on food poisoning, then all it is, and we'll let you know we're about in Bathgate. You get free COVID and some food poisoning with your dinner. Kev, what's been happening this week?
Not a great deal. It's been a fairly non-eventful weekend. Didn't even bother giving Alloa 12 quid, so stuff them.
Aye, but that is one of the weirdest byproducts of this whole getting demoted is that I now hate Alloa, and a year ago I couldn't even tell you anything about Alloa. I just know that I absolutely hate them now. Even the wee admin guy, and that he's always chirping up on like Twitter and that, thinking he's funny. He's there, my head in.
but he's like a Rangers fan or Celtic fan as well, being for Alloa.
He's got
There's
to be.
no way he's an Alloa fan.
He's got to be. And then Shanks, how's your week been?
Not bad, mate. Just exploring the lovely walks of Broxburn. After a year, I'm kind of fed up of doing that now. There's only so many times you can think about throwing yourself in that canal.
And we also got the good news as well that we're now extended shutdown.
Oh, it is.
We're now middle of February before they're even going to even contemplate openings back up. So
I genuinely didn't even know that. So
there you go.
There's a news podcast as well.
There you go. We're always current affairs and up to date. And then Brad, what's happening this week?
Not much, mate. I'm the same as Shanks, just a bit bored of the usual. So I'm finding the lengths that I'll go to try and fill the void of missing football. So I've been cycling this week and tennis today.
Tennis.
Honestly, I'll try anything. Oh, mate, tennis today.
Right.
How'd you play tennis by yourself?
Well, one of the very few sports you can still do because it's one other person from one other household and you're socially distant. So, managed to get a wee game in the day and a wee cycle yesterday. So that's all I've been up to. That's been it.
Did your pen pal send you that top?
I love this top. Then you start. This is my good
So
Christmas present.
So that listeners know he said he loves the SFA. Because that is what that says on that top, innit? It says Scottish
Sure
Football
does.
Association.
Aye, Doncaster on the back.
Aye, Doncaster number 8 on the back. Loves it. Cool. Well, I'll plug the socials anyway, because just in case this does fall apart, but they are on there. But I get in contact with us on Twitter at This My Story Pod. You can get in contact us with the website at admin@thismystory.uk, and you can catch us on Instagram as This Is My Story 1874. And then, obviously, if you're watching, I'm sure you've found us on YouTube. What is the YouTube details?
I don't think we
Have we
have
got
a
any?
custom domain or a custom thing for YouTube. Let me work on it, and I'll put it in the show notes if I can figure that out. But if you search "This Is My Story Pod" on YouTube, you'll find it. Or even
Right,
better,
okay.
on Twitter,
Cool.
we'll just
Well-
link the video file in the tweet that we send. That's probably easier for you. But once you get there, remember and hit subscribe. And yes, we are that kind of people
Oh,
now
yes.
where we're at. Smash that follow button, smash the subscribe button, all that wanky nonsense. You need it.
What are we reaching for 100 subscribers? We'll go
Let's,
for that.
let's just
Start
start
off
off with
small.
15 first.
Let's start off small.
15k, that's all right.
15k by the summer, and by Christmas next year we'll have Tam fighting Floyd Mayweather.
I will be influencing all over the place. In Dubai, Sam v Mayweather Senior or whatever it is, fight him. Right. Aye, this week we'll have all the usual stuff. Again, like Kev said, we had the game on Saturday. It was non-eventful, really, to be honest with you, other than the hysteria, ourselves included, an hour and 15 minutes before the game kicked off when we seen the starting 11. We'll dive into how Alloa tammed it. That wasn't even meant to be up on, but I'm taking it because Tam's doing the match report, so we'll see how that tammed it. We'll have all the usual nonsense. We'll have the teaser this week. Brad just got it for us. I've got some conundrums. We'll go through headlines. We'll do the Alloa review. Kev has prepared the quiz from 1982. Richard Cresswell features heavily. Then we'll do Hall of Fame results. We'll have our vote because obviously you don't know who's won in an absolute landslide. And then the podcasters, us, get to pick who else we want to join the others in the Hall of Fame. And then we'll touch on a bit of a cool feature as we spoke about at the end of last week's pod. Delighted to say that we're going to be working with the Hearts charity Big Hearts, with the club and some of our fellow podcasters as well, Scurser and the Funnel, Perth to Paisley, We Have No Cares, to sort of bring you guys a bit of a forum to talk. Obviously we joked and laughed about it there, putting a bit of a brave face on lockdowns. We know how hard lockdown is for everybody, and it's a bit of a struggle, and especially with the fact that we can't get to the football. So I'll talk to you a wee bit more about Big Hearts' idea and what it'll be, but we've got a bit of exciting news coming there as to how you can interact with us and get involved and all that sort of stuff. So we'll do that near the end of the show. Oh, I've said show again.
No, but
Oh, there you
remember,
go.
You even got called out for that on Twitter last week as well.
Big time.
nah.
Big time
Draw
Charlie.
a line.
Said
It's
100
fine. We're now on the video, so it is a show. So
Aye.
it's totally fine.
There's 7 members of the video tonight.
Aye. And how's your week been? What's that one called again?
This is Halloumi.
Oh, no.
You're kidding on.
She
Stupid things like that. Move,
sat on the back doormat, and that was it, really. That was our week.
Good. Well, that was a good week. There, I forgot your cat was named after cheese, man.
That's bad. That is
Very
bad.
cheesy, that, eh?
Well,
It's back to 15
yeah.
subscribers. If we can get 15 subscribers, I'll be happy. Let's go with
Absolutely.
that.
If we can get more than Shanks' cats, that's the aim. That's
Aye,
the
and on that
target.
subject, do you want to plug your
Right,
cat's social media, Shanks?
my
Are
cat's
you
on
sure?
social media.
Are you sure now?
Absolutely do.
So now that we're visual, I should probably expel the myth that I'm a wanker. I'm actually no a wanker, and you'll learn that over the course of the next hour and 45 minutes.
How you still look like a wanker, as sound like a wanker.
Aye, only
Well,
one.
at least I'm not dressed like a wanker.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
How many books you got in the background there? And what are they?
He's an avid reader.
It's just all the Harry Potter books over and over again.
Aye, so there we go. That's what we'll go through all that stuff as well. Headlines this week are quite funny. We've had an even bigger meltdown from Celtic, which was quite funny. We'll have a look at that. I've did a bit of diving, and I've got some stats and some wee quiz for you based on some of Neil Lennon's unbelievably great excuses over the years. We'll go through some of that stuff, and then that's pretty much it. So, aye. Cool. Have I missed anything?
We're trying to keep it light, but that will still be a solid 2.5 hours with the amount of rabbit holes we always go down. So, aye, strap yourself in.
There we go. Well, we've already been through talking about throwing Hingway's cat into the canal. Oh no, you said yourself, wasn't it? Your cat wasn't getting chucked into the canal. Shanks doesn't do that. He definitely does not throw cats into the canal. Right. Shanks, I'm coming to you anyway. What was the answers to last week's teaser? What was the teaser? Who got it right? Who's getting the shout-outs?
So the teaser was which former Hearts player has played with Robbie Winters and David Van Zanten. So shout out to Mark Wells and BBJ Jr. who gave us a correct answer, and Jim Hamilton, and Andy Dixon who also gave us an answer, and Dennis Wyness, who both played with Winters in the 99-00 season with the Dons and 2008 season with St Mirren. That wasn't who we had.
Wait a minute.
I had a player.
Stop saying we.
Stop
saying we. You're entirely responsible for this. It's your bet.
So, all right. So that's not who I had. I had a player that not many will know because I was fed up of BBJ getting the answer right every week. So I went with Alan Lithgow. And now I'll hand over to Kev to tell you who that is. I believe he played once for Hearts. He was signed by Craig Levine from, is it East Kilbride, you said, Kev?
East Kilbride Borough. My question to you, though, Shanks, is, after I've done a little bit more investigation, I don't know what club he played at with Van Zanten or Robbie Winters.
Well, let me tell you
I'm interested to tell you,
Kevin.
I'm interested to hear.
Seeing as you've just put me on the spot there. So he played with Robbie Winters at Clyde in the 08-09 season.
Okay.
And he played with David Van Zanten at Airdronians in the 2015-2016 season. I spent about a good 45 minutes Googling Ayr United and then realised they're two different clubs.
Well, that's
so,
good solid work, mate.
I think that's the first teaser.
Look at the smugness on the wee ride when he says that, though. He's like, I've done my research for the first time.
What are you using Google for? Why you got Google when you got all those books? You know, get Scottish football annals there that tell you who's played for who. Right, this week, teaser Bradley, Mr. SFA himself. Who is it? A Scottish football one? Is it one of your pals in the SFA? Or is it going to be a Hearts one? Are you on the Hearts podcast?
It is Hearts, aye.
Oh, all right. Cool.
I'm just being the neutral. I'm being Switzerland on this pod now. I'm just representing.
And you decided to represent Switzerland by being the organisation that fucked us over.
Yep,
nice.
Right. So my question is, which player has played with Sam Cosgrove, who is the lanky streaky piss that plays for Aberdeen, and Michael O'Halloran, who is the Jake Ball that looks like he should be selling shots in Albufeira. So, who is the player that's played with Sam Cosgrove and Michael O'Halloran? And full disclosure, I did this in about 10 minutes. So, like Shanks, if there is multiple answers, I couldn't care less. We're going with my answer, and that's it.
What I've got written down is the correct answer and the only answer that matters.
That's it.
Cool. Right, magic. Well, we'll get that on the Twitter. Get in contact with us with the answers. And like we said, just make sure you get the one that Brad's just thinking about that he wrote down 2 minutes ago. And speaking of 2 minutes ago, we're doing conundrums, and I only did them 2 minutes ago. Right. Ready for this week's conundrums?
They're going to be shocking, eh? But I look forward to it.
How many we got?
We've got 3, no tiebreakers. We do not have enough time, and no one cares enough. After the emails that we get about these conundrums, we're on a tightrope. Let's just batter through them and then move on. Right, number 1. Ricardo Fuller's mum's favourite thing to do. You need an accent for that one.
And
Full disclosure.
what's the initials?
A-H Alpha Harry. I don't know what's
Hotel.
H in the hang with.
Hotel.
What's H?
Hotel.
Oh, that's
Oh,
embarrassing.
that is shocking.
That's inherent. That's you need to give me the full explanation, and you have to do the accent, or you don't get the points. Right, number 2, a heavy night on the gear. Initials EF.
All right, I've got it.
Number 3,
What was it? EF, sorry.
EF. Yep. Edward Fraser. I don't know.
That's my bad.
What did he play with us?
That's going to be an answer in the quiz later. Right, and the last one. What I get after an hour on Pornhub watching this boy at his best. Initials CG. You have to explain why and what it means. What I get after an hour on Pornhub watching this boy at his best. CG. Right. Let's move on.
Oof, if my last one is what it is, then it's a shocker.
They're all shocking, mate.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes of trying to get my laptop to work on Skype, is it any shock to you that the Conundrums
Not
are
at
bad?
all.
Right, cool. Headlines this week, boys. What a absolute unbelievable press conference yesterday.
I
Did you
didn't
see
see it, but I did listen to it. I ran a nice hot bath. I poured myself a big glass of wine. I put some candles on, and I just listened to it on repeat for. I must have been about 3 or 4 times. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And I make no apologies for admitting that his pain causes me pleasure. That's it.
It was incredible. It was absolutely mental. I love when he gets like that. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's quality. He's so entertaining when he's like that. He pretty much, and I've got a list of everybody that he blamed, but we can go through it. So, like I said earlier, for anybody that doesn't know or might not care, and to be fair, we barely care other than the fact that it's been fairly entertaining. We knew that 10 in a row or winning it or losing it was going to kill one of the old firm. Genuinely never expected it to be Celtic, but oh my god, I'm so happy it was them, because the fallout for this has been sensational. We've spoken about it before. They've smashed their stadium up. They've threw sharks. We've had them trying to get the league shut down. And some of the comments that Lennon said yesterday to what are definitely just play into the paranoia that they're trying to get the leagues called. But let's play a game, right? So let's play. I've called it A Tale of Deflection, a short story about Neil Lennon. Right?
No.
He's ready?
Go for it.
So, after he got beat, this is what he said. Bobby Madden was being pro to which club? Take a guess.
I actually know the answer to this.
He was the
because I've seen it.
Hibs manager, and he said that this club, Bobby Madden, was pro this club. Take a guess, not Tam, because he's seen it.
I haven't seen it. I'll.
Well, we get the
Yeah.
obvious one out of the way. Say it's not Rangers. So there you go. It's not Rangers that Bobby Madden supports.
Was he maybe
or
being
is-
pro Celtic? Is that too much of a venture?
Nope, he was not being
okay.
pro Celtic.
He
Shanks,
was being pro Greenock Morton.
he was indeed. Greenock Morton, Bobby Madden loves the Greenock Morton.
I've heard
Can't
that.
get enough of them. There we go. Bobby Madden said. Neil Lennon said that Bobby Madden was pro Morton when his Hibs side get beat off them. There you go. Darren Drydesdale. Any guesses as to who he is?
A journalist?
The idea.
No
Nope.
idea.
There's a very common theme about
Is he a
lot of this
referee?
stuff. So
Some sort of ref.
he's a referee. Well done, lads. Well done. He works in England. This is a tale from when Neil Lennon was the manager of Bolton, that very successful period that he had in charge of Bolton. What do you think he said about Darren Drydesdale? And I will say that the thing that he said is the only time, or he's never seen more of this in his life. So even more than when he was at Celtic. Poor Darren Drydesdale down in Bolton. He was a game versus
I've
QPR.
got this. Was he
they got
pro
beat by
QPR
Rangers.
by any chance?
You are getting very,
seeing a
very
theme.
good at this.
Seeing a theme already.
He said that He said Darren Drysdale was the most biased ref he had ever seen towards QPR.
Well, fair enough.
So Bobby Madden supports Morton, Drysdale supports QPR. Right, another game that Neil Lennon lost. Alberto Undiano Malenko. Who was he pro for?
Greenock Martin.
Yes, he went.
I know the answer to this as
Whoever
well.
they
I
were
will say.
playing in the Europa League that game.
I think it was Champions League, wasn't it?
Was it
Yeah,
Juventus?
Champions League. Yep. It was Juventus, yes.
Shanks, I sent you the answers to these, so it's not pretending like you do.
See, I'm
You've seen
not
the
one
two
that-
that I've seen.
So there you go. There you go. The first three were, and they were all direct quotes to say that in his life he'd never seen more biased performances against Celtic or Hibs by Morton, QPR, and Juventus. There we go. Right, another one. He got beat at Tynecastle in 2011 as a Celtic manager. And then 3 weeks later, after saying that this referee was very biased towards Hearts, the same referee made a mistake. Can anybody guess what happened after he made this mistake? Can anybody remember?
No.
If I told you it was Dougie McDonald,
Christ,
can
that
you
must-
remember what
that must be a while ago.
That? Nah, 2011, I think it was.
No sure.
I can't
So he
remember what
lost.
happened 6 months ago, never mind that long ago.
So he lost at Tynecastle to us, and he said that they got beat because Dougie McDonald was pro Hearts, obviously, as is the theme. 3 weeks later, Dougie McDonald gave a penalty and then took it away. Remember, against Dundee United and Celtic, and the Celtic and Neil Lennon and Gary Hooper pingweed up such they were so angry and made such a big deal about this thing that all the referees in Scotland went on strike and Dougie McDonald quit.
I do remember this. Aye.
I remember that now.
Because
yeah.
his idea was that no, the referee shouldn't be denigrated like that, and then it felt it was unfair, and then they called a strike. I can remember that now. It seems like a lot longer ago than 2011.
It's because we've had to suffer him for that amount of time. So
Would that be about 10 years ago?
that math fits that fits the narrative. You are a wank. You're right. I'm so glad that we've done this visual podcast
I
because
know,
people
you see
need to
that?
know
There's no calculator there or anything. Well done, Shanks.
and then obviously one of the most famous ones at Hearts when we beat them in the semi-final. Go on YouTube, you can see he's spitting feathers, angry. He refuses to shake Paulo Sergio's hand because we got a penalty in the last minute and we knocked him at the semi-final. Guess who he blamed for that day that they got beat? Take a guess.
Was it maybe
Who
the
do you think he
referee?
blamed?
The referee for that day.
It was the referee.
Never.
He said it was the referee's fault. It was his fault. So there you go. There was a classic. My favourite one, and you might remember this. Can you remember when Hibs were like the best team in the world and they were going to finish, not going to win the league because that would stop Celtic from winning it, but they were going to finish second, and then they came to Tynecastle and Craig Levine's Hearts beat them 2-1. Can you remember the aftermath of that game? Can anybody remember who he blamed or what he blamed on that game?
He blamed his own players, did he not? And then
Yep,
went
or
missing
why?
for a few days.
Kev, can you know why he blamed his own players?
Mm,
Kev, you're on mute. That's good. There you go. Thanks, mate.
No, I knew he blamed his own players' name went missing. That was what I was going to say, but I can't mind why because I really didn't care.
Anybody want to take a guess at what he specifically blamed his players for?
Because they were all referees.
Oh, wait a
They
minute.
were all Alberto.
No, is this
Malenko.
this isn't the one where he blamed the turf?
Malenko. No, that was
Oh,
Brendan
shit.
Rodgers
Right.
that blamed the turf. He strangely blamed the players' studs. Can you remember? They were professional football players, and they should have had different studs because they kept falling over.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that one?
I'm doing
And
it.
then
I've said it.
in that same rant, who else did they blame? Can anybody else remember who he blamed for Hearts winning and Hibs blowing the chance to finish second?
No, go.
It was a bit of a weird one to go on. He blamed the players' studs, and then he said it was the Hibs board. It was their fault because they haven't backed them, which was quite good. Then in the days after that, can you remember what else he blamed?
The sky for being blue.
No, he said that he blamed it on him being a Catholic. Remember his famous interview after it where he went hanging and he said that he gets different treatment from everybody else because he's a Catholic. And then, if you remember, that all culminated in him turning into an aeroplane.
Oh,
Remember that?
I do remember this. We ran onto the park and done the "Woo!" Aye.
In a game that they didn't even win.
And I gave fantastic. And just for anybody that doesn't know, they also finished 4th that season. So they went from being the Galacticos, the Scottish football, to they finished 4th behind Rangers. And the game that he turned into an aeroplane, they didn't even win. He then went to the pub that night and was doing the aeroplane in the pub. If you can remember the videos, that was probably my favourite one. Although this one's been quite good. We beat them. He blamed the studs, blamed the board. Then he went missing for like 5 days, and everybody was like, "Oh, his mental health. I feel sorry for him." And then he showed up as an aeroplane, which was quite good. And then that brings us on to this week. Anybody, I'll just tick them off if you can get them. I'll tick them off as you go along. Does anybody want to take or start rhyming off things he blamed this week
right. Yes.
in his interview?
The government.
Hypocrisy.
The government, SNP, yep, good.
SNPs.
Yep, anybody
Andy
else?
Walker.
Andy Walker, yep, he blamed
The
Andy
medical
Walker, that's
advice,
right.
i.e. social distancing rules.
Yeah, he said public
Right,
health
fair
and
enough.
safety, that's what he said as well, yep.
He had a pop at St Johnston's size of their changing room, and Hamilton, I think.
And Hamilton, yep, the changing rooms at St Johnston and Hamilton were to blame, yep. Anybody else?
Joint response group.
Yep, you had a pop at them, yep.
Lee Wallace had to be on the list.
Aston Villa. He mentioned something about Aston Villa. I don't think he blamed them though.
No, I said because of an outbreak. For a bonus 10 points, because the most bizarre thing he said or blamed on the thing. Do you want to take a pump? Do you want to take a shot at? Yep, go.
He blamed conga lines.
He blamed the conga as well. That was a good one. Anything else? There was a funnier one.
Celtic huddle.
No. Remember how we started talking about Belgian and French law? He was talking about laws. Can any want to take a guess?
Oh
who blamed?
yeah. This is how it's illegal to take a photo in Dubai without someone's consent. So he blamed.
Illegal to take a
he's
pic.
also picked a fight with the Emirati government as well. Then.
Yep, so he's picked it. So
the boy for the evening news is getting done for doing a Lennon Hopster.
it is actual. It is so. And this is who I've wrote down. So he blamed the SNP, Andy Walker, Chris Boyd, Mikey Stewart, Murdo McLeod, Paul the Tim, Rod Stewart, Brother Wilfred, Sev Cole, person that took the picture, Dubai, the protocols that are in place for COVID itself. He also went on to say that everybody tested negative, bar 2 players, which he then went on to say was utterly remarkable, which is really strange. He blamed Bolingoli for going to Spain, as it was distasteful, and then he blamed the Scotland national side for doing a conga. What a meltdown. Honestly, I expected him to shave his head and be like Britney Spears. That's what I thought he was going full Britney Spears.
Could I just clarify? What did you say about the? I must have missed that bit, but he said the whole squad's negative except
now,
2.
I'm
which
not.
is remarkable.
Yeah,
I'm not
you must
wanting
have heard
to.
that when
I'm
it
not
was
wanting to
class.
repeat
No,
Tom
yeah.
English, but he basically called it out and said, "Aye, right." So he's saying that only 2 players have got COVID out of 60 or whatever. Like that's a result. Like, oh, well done. Only 2 of the 60 people have got COVID. And Tom English's quote was, "Well, how many did they think they were going to get? Like, they obviously were expecting more. So that 2 out of 60 is a good result for them. What an absolute pellet."
It's
the way he delivers it as well. It's like everybody in the team is negative. Everybody in the team is negative, except
when he was saying, the air quotes, that is like absolute Austin Powers, Dr. Evil in it. Actually embarrassing.
The best one I've seen is from Dodgeball. That's the funniest one I have seen. However, I've just realised that bosses of a festival held in Dubai have told their customers to blame Neil Lennon shortly after it was announced that the city was added to Scotland's travel quarantine list. Fly Open Air Festival shared the comment in an update on their Instagram page. I'm about to go and follow them.
Even
as I said.
No, sorry. Just at the start of his interview, where he challenged the guy, I think it was Charles Patterson, who's the Sky correspondent. He's like, "Right, Charles, this happened on your channel. Can you tell me what Andy Walker meant by that comment?" He's like, "Mate, I'm the Sky correspondent. I wasn't involved in that production. Nothing to do with me. That's words you'll need to have with Andy Walker." Oh, but he was on your platform. Is it? Well, we get guests on. What the fuck? Right? Asking completely ridiculous questions. That's like me, Corbett. What does your ma think about the Neil Lennon meltdown? Right? You're not going to be able to answer that. Ridiculous. Oh,
Oh,
well,
she
okay.
loved it.
Right.
She loved it. She hates him too.
You know what I mean, though.
She hates them enough. I know. As I put on Twitter, that's like us saying that we won the Scottish Cup by missing 2 penalties. I mean, that is literally as stupid as it gets. Well, we've got Meerkats, the
This one's been a
podcast.
complete dick for the all day while I've been working, so it's about to get launched. Right, away you go.
Is it named after another food item?
I know it.
Is it called Big?
Doesn't matter what it's named after. My cat would Scott's cat.
Anything else that we missed from that unbelievable? We said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. You know that things must be mental when Celtic fans even didn't defend what's been said. You can that things have went well far when no even they are like defending what's been happening. It's been utterly
For me,
hilarious
it's
to see.
Ken, who
Sorry,
must
Cam,
have
on you
like, oh sorry man, Ken, who must have like the worst job in the world at the minute is the PR rep for Celtic FC. But she just sat like he or she sat him down before the interview and was just like, please just apologise, don't make it worse. He goes in and just does that. It'd be hilarious.
Well, the fact
It's a good point you bring up, because it's like you've got Lawwell who has come out and apologised, but then Neil Lennon going, actually, I'm not fucking apologising for anything, right? So like that is going to infuriate Dermot Desmond. And then if you're talking about the PR person, whoever that might be, their job's going to be quite easy, because apparently all sort of requests for comment on this have just been a straightforward no, computer says no, all that sort of stuff. So they're it sounded like the death rattle of somebody that's about to die, right? That's the end of Neil Lennon as far as I'm concerned.
I imagine his Celtic career is going to be like that.
The only question that remains is whether he's going to be pushed or whether he'll walk. That's it.
No, the only question is, has Lawwell said to him, you can still save 10, and the way to save 10 is get the game shut down. Get the game shut down. Go out and be absolutely mental. You take the blame, blah, blah, blah. Because he went completely and utterly against everything, as you said, that Lawwell said, but he went after everybody. It wasn't even just a few comments. It was proper, like, he was angry. He was wanting to fight everybody. So, anyway. Right, back to matters of hearts. Strange one, actually, before the game started, like this week before the game or whatever, that was it the Friday or whatever, we announced that Ollie Lee had went on loan to Gillingham to see out the remainder of his contract. Obviously, when you read the comments from him, I think when he came back from his loan, he came up without his family. They stayed down south. He came back up because of COVID and all that sort of stuff. And it sounds like he just needs to go back to be with his family, which I suppose from a personal level you can totally and utterly understand, but a bit of a strange one for Hearts, isn't it?
It is very, very strange, although he maybe had heard Brad's on podcast back in sort of October, November, when there was, just giving him absolute pelters, and he thought, do you know what, I'm just going to go because I'm getting bullied by Brad's.
Well, coming to Brad's actual, who are we bringing in to replace him then?
I don't think we'll bring anybody in. I think it'll be a new contract. Well, you'll probably go into that, but I think it'll just be an extension.
They're looking at somebody, man.
Are they?
Nielsen said he wants a replacement for Ollie.
It's just, how many players are they going to try and fit in that 10 role?
I know.
We don't need it. Walker can play it. Naismith can play it. They had Henderson diving in and out there the other day there as well. Like, how many players do you need in that position?
But it is I know that we've had jokes and that about it, Brad's and that about who likes Ollie Lee and who doesn't, but I genuinely liked Ollie Lee when he played further forward. When he was sitting in that deep role or whatever it is, he was pretty useless. But I like him, and he gave us that goal at Easter Road. So we'll always take it, and it means we don't have to listen to that song anymore. So that's pretty much we Stendhal leaving and Ollie Lee leaving. The Gorgie boys are as well, just keying up their drumming, moving on into there's no songs left now. What we're going to sing about now? We got literally no chance to go back to that since I was young. That absolutely horrendous thing that they sing.
I quite like that one, man.
I don't mind it at Easter Road.
We sing it about 900 RPM or whatever it is. It's ridiculous, man.
Shanks, have you got a Gorgie Boys Johnny?
Found out a Bugs draw, eh?
Twat.
So what? So Nielsen, Tam, you said Nielsen was saying that we will look to replace.
Well, it's another midfielder to replace Ollie Lee.
We are heavy on midfielders, eh?
Yeah.
Herring, Halliday, Irving, Walker, Naismith. Nielsen wants to play deep as well. You've got Cochrane out on loan. We've got Connor Smith out on loan as well. McGill as well. So
I don't think we really need one for this league, to be honest with you.
Nah, I get that. But although, having said that, if the right player comes in and he's good enough, then you would take him, wouldn't you? So that Brad's touched on it a little bit there at the start of the week. There, we got the news that Andy Irving and Josh Ginnelly have opened up talks with the clubs. Obviously, Ginnelly has opened up talks, making his switch permanent, and Irving extending his contract. Not really any complaints there, have we?
No, I think if we can capture Gino, I would be delighted. That would be the best signing of the year for me.
Aye.
Who would you rather?
Who would I rather?
Out of those two.
Gino, mate.
Aye.
What?
Nah,
Andy Irving
I'm,
every day.
For me, like,
I'm with Brad's on this. I'd go Gino.
Has Gino scored in every game he's played apart from Arbroath?
League game.
What league game?
No, like every league game, he didn't score. Me and Ando had a bit of conversation about that on
Oh,
Saturday.
the League
In the League
Cup.
Cup, he
But
didn't score.
that's me being an arsehole because I'm considering that the Scottish Cup is technically last season's competition, so it doesn't factor into this year's statistics. But to all intents and purposes, it does. That's me being an arsehole. But aye, his goals per game ratio is still no better than Boyce. He's top.
I think if Hearts are serious about, I know we're the masters of talking about, oh, we've got the fifth and fourth best squads and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and then the league gets called and we're 12th, having won 2 games all season or whatever. We're masters at talking about how great we're going to be, but if we've got one eye in it, one eye on the league, like the top league next year, then we've got to have ambition to get them both, don't we?
So. How old's Irving?
Young,
There
20.
you go. You have to get him signed up right away.
Irving,
19 or 20.
Irving's going to make us
exactly.
millions.
You're thinking of the Aaron Hickey situation all over again, right? Those kind of guys, the young team, get them signed up if they've even got an ounce of promise, just for resale value. Ginnelly, we're not going to make any money off him, so you know what? Pay the dollar, and he'll make us money on the park.
Shanks.
Can we do a bit of research on how long McGill's got? If anybody can source that, because I thought he was absolutely class. I think he's another one to watch.
Contract
in terms of longevity at the club.
I can't see a future. If Robbie's saying he wants to bring someone in, then I can't see a future at Hearts for Harry Cochrane. I know that's sad to say, but he's pumped out on loan every single transfer window. He doesn't get recalled, never gets a look in when he's here. So I don't know if we just maybe look to let him go and try somewhere else. Kev?
Scott McGill's contract runs to 2022.
Right.
So next summer.
Oh, so Shank, see when you said can we do a bit of research? Could you know I've just done that?
So,
I did share it in
for
the
those
group
of you
chat.
just watching, this is regularly where Tam comes at me for the jugular. So,
Right.
Tam, no.
The book's on the real time.
I'm sorry.
Right, what about rumours as well? Obviously, it's been heavily circulated that we are looking to try and do something to get Louis Moult from Preston. Currently injured, so perfect for Hearts. But any other rumours here and kicking about? I'd take Louis Moult. He was brilliant when he was at Motherwell. I would maybe be too disappointed at getting someone like him on board. Kev?
It's always that case, so isn't it? You're always worried about bringing in somebody who's just came back from an ACL injury, and whether or not we're actually going to get anything out of them. So that's always going to be difficult. I've just seen that Edinburgh Live are commenting about us watching the young lad Thomas Robert, so son of
Lauren
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Aye,
It's all nonsense. I think Rob Borthwick tweeted saying that it's like the most. Aye, it's just literally it's like a bot or
Aye.
something just knocking out the same rumor because it's always Hearts and Hibs.
It's like
look to
Hibs
be
keeping
bringing
tabs
in
on Lafferty.
such and such.
That's never going to happen.
Aye.
aye, aye.
Well, you never know. He'll go wherever he can get money. And fair enough to him. Do you know what I mean? But if he's coming back to Scottish football, it'll be whoever pays him the most money. And scarfs around the funnel. Mark Donaldson had said that he'd spoken to Robbie personally about it, and Robbie had said that Hearts are not interested in trying to sign him, which again is probably the most Hearts thing I've heard all week. You know, we're looking for a striker, somebody that knows the club, has scored goals for the club, is available right now, can come in, and we're not interested in signing them. But then, also, how many transfer windows do we need to go? We're going to have to keep bloody talking about bringing Kyle Lafferty back. Does your absolute head in, doesn't it?
I'd only have him back for the song. I couldn't care less about him. I just want the songs back.
Aye, let's get the tunes back. Make Tynecastle great again. Right. What are we doing
Well, I
now?
was just going to say, just before we move on, Tam, how's your belly? You feeling all right?
I really need to.
We're
to
going
need
to
a
have to go to
music.
a break here, aren't
Aye,
we?
man.
Right, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that going to be in the podcast?
well, yeah, it will
Yes.
be.
Well, nobody wants to hear.
Tam, out of curiosity, what did you have for your dinner last night specifically?
I'll send you a photo. You might be able to see it.
Oh, right. Some sort of beef satay, was it? Okay.
You're not supposed to eat the wee sticks, Tam.
It was on
Hey,
Sunday,
man.
man. It was on Sunday. I'm actual fucked. Like nobody wants to hear, but it's fucked.
Right. Well, let's play the lift music and we'll all be back. Get the baby wipes out
Okay.
for Tam.
There we go.
Out the freezer.
Cool. Right. We're all back and accounted for. Tam, we're coming to you because you were a scab and paid Alloa £12. So explain to us, one, your reasoning, why you're funding Alloa, and then tell us all about the game that we didn't get to watch. Because Brad's watched it on the illegal Facebook parrot in the background, Periscope or whatever it is in that boy's living room.
Watching it upside down, like trying to turn my heat to watch it.
Dreadful. Aye. So we'll come to you, Tam, for a review of Alloa. So Hearts played Alloa on Saturday at wherever Ando drill, is that what it's called?
It is.
I think so. Aye.
Drill Stadium.
I loved Laurie's comments of the
No way,
Oh
man.
yes, it's finally happened.
KFC stadium.
Right.
I've been waiting for it.
Kev.
Hi, Kev.
Everything changes apart from Kev. Thanks for trying to
Everything's
say.
been working fine.
Thanks for trying to say.
So
whatever you
for the
just
audio
said, but we're
listeners,
moving.
this is where you'll hear a cute bit of editing where you'll hear me splicing some dodgy broadband dial-up music. But for the video, you just get to see us pointing and calling him an absolute wanker. Well done, Kev. Cheers, man.
So we played Alloa on Saturday. It was 3-1 to Hearts. Tam, talk us through the game.
Aye, so I bought it purely for research purposes of the podcast because somebody had to watch the game
That's
purely to do a
lies.
match report. It wasn't just that I had nothing else to do at 3 o'clock on a Saturday and I really missed football. That was it. So, aye. 3-1. There isn't really much to talk about other than the goals. The team obviously was an absolute shanner, and when we seen it, we thought we were going to get beat. I liked Craig Cairns was messaged me and he said that our substitutes could beat our starting 11, which I thought was quite a good point, to be fair. So what was I thinking? First goal, Andy Irvine, absolute beezer, good goal. Corbett says the keeper should have done better, and we'll let the listeners judge about that, to be fair.
I say could have done better. I'm just saying it was a good goal, but it wasn't as good as what I originally thought it was when you watching Hearts camera phone footage of the game, when you actually see the actual replay of it. It's a great strike, and that's what you want to have a ping for that distance, but the keeper probably, look back at that, would have said, resident goalkeeper on the podcast, Bradley, he could have probably done a bit better.
Absolutely, I think so. He should have done a bit better. It's quite central, the shot, but had enough power on it, and I'm happy to see us actually hitting shots from outside the box, man. How many times have we been asking for that?
Yep.
Exactly. Right.
Then I think what was actually a wonderful goal by our podcast free favourite players. That's really hard to say. Well,
favourite.
So you had Walker with a 1-2 to Roberts, great ball into Freer at the back post and a wonderful finish. I had to question if it was Freer's first touch of the ball, to be fair, because I didn't really know. Obviously, Gino, I wish he'd shot from the halfway line on his goal, but to be fair, it put the game to bed and it looks a better score. Other than that, it was all very one-paced until probably Gino, GMS, boys came on, which probably should have started. Irvin kind of ran the show. Walker had a good game, and Boyce was never offside for his goal, as we've discussed on Twitter as well. But other than that, I thought I was quite worried about Andy Halliday's game. He had a pretty terrible game, and Michael Smith wasn't up to his usual standard as well, I felt. But
Right, so let's go back to the very, very start since we touched it. Talk us through the team that made everybody lose their minds. We tweeted saying the team that we wanted to see or we expected to see because we'd had so much time before it would have been Gordon, Smith, Berra, Halkett, Kingsley, Halliday and Irvin, and Gary Mackay-Steven, Naismith, Ginnelly with Boyce up front. What did we get instead?
So we got that back. Well, basically, we'll go from the 4 forwards changed. So we had Freer. Henderson started in the 10, I think, with Walker out wide. And then Roberts was playing up top.
Yep.
But obviously, it moved about because they were all garbage, except Walker. He was the only one really doing anything. And it was pretty horrible. Also, I just want to point out, see the folk on Twitter and Facebook and that and go, oh, you aren't complaining now, everyone that complained about the squad before it was announced, when it was announced and stuff. I hate that, because it was a terrible lineup. Just admit it. Rather than pretend you're a better fan because you were always back the team today the best, even though they won 3-1.
Right, we'll go to Shanks first, because Shanks had his 2 points. What are you going to say, Shanks? We all love when you pipe up and tell us your thoughts on the game. Go for it.
Oh, well, I've now got 3 points. So,
right, go
my first point is if Tam has just offended you, he's an arse piece. So, we still want you to keep listening, even if you disagree with us. So,
Did you say Hira arse piece?
Hey.
Hira, fucking go. Oh, the other way. Oh, no. Point number 2, I thought we were fairly stable at the back for a change, which was kind of nice to see. We never had too many
Alloa.
Strange moments. Yeah, we are in the Championship. We're not top flight.
We did lose a goal.
Sorry. Do you want to...
Oh, it's a burn.
And then the final was I particularly enjoyed the halftime Kavos 2002 tunes. They were massive.
Well,
it was there's something not quite right about us at the back. I know I'm not just saying that because you made the point that you thought we were stable. The goal that we conceded was dreadful. Is it Ginnelly that just doesn't go out to the guy to block the cross?
I admitted it in an interview that it was his fault and he was really glad that he got the goal to make up for it. But
all right.
Who was marking at the back post, to be fair, as well? Because the lad was free. That would be Mikey Smith, actually, wouldn't it?
Which is a bit annoying. The other thing as well that we haven't spoke about is the fact that we were dreadful first half and won 2-0, and we were battered them in the second half and drew 1 each. Which is really, we need to start taking chances. Like we genuinely need to start being a bit more clinical in front of goal and all that sort of stuff.
A couple of points that I was going to say was just going back to your earlier point about the team selection, Tam, right? You know what, I'm always an advocate of never change a winning team and all that sort of stuff, but to Corbett's point that he just made, it's Alloa, right? I know we had our pants pulled down there earlier in the cup, but you know what? Can you not just give them a wee bit of latitude and say, you know what, fine, piss about with the team if you want, it's Alloa away. it doesn't actually matter, right? We know that we can probably recover this. As I say, we got a scalping there the last time. Even then, it wasn't a scalping. Sorry, it was an embarrassing loss, and it should never have happened. But draw a line under that. If he wants to tinker with the team because he himself isn't quite sure of, he's trying to fit players into different positions with one eye on the horizon of, right, Ollie Lee's away now. I need to try and figure things out a little bit more. Give him that little bit of latitude. I don't think it's really that big a deal.
Yeah, fair. Brad.
I was trying to go back in the sorry it cut in, but I was trying to go back in the group chat. You didn't actually comment on the team starting lineup, Ando, so fair enough. Because
what I did comment on was
Brad,
Corbett, was just the point that he made a minute ago, which is we need to take the chances. They're far, far too wasteful. And I've not even seen the game. I'm just going by your description in the group chat. So, there you go. That's absolutely a valid point to make. So, I'll take your apology. Thanks. Move on.
Brad.
I know we're saying, and we know that Robbie's a kind of tinker master of the team, and it's all part of our bugbear about him. But see, the big thing for me, in the game, it didn't feel like Freer, Walker, Roberts or Henderson actually knew who they were meant to be or what their role was meant to be. See, when you watch that first kind of 20-30 minutes, Henderson was out wide for about 3 or 4 minutes. Then he was like, oh shit, I need to be inside. Then Walker went out wide. Then Roberts switched round. Then they all had a wee shot up top, and it's like there was no way that was ever going to gel because they didn't know what role they were meant to be doing. I didn't know if Robbie was giving instructions like, fuck, this isn't working right. Roberts, you come out wide. There was no time to embed into the game. We didn't really settle well at all in the first kind of half hour. And that was because they keep changing round. You just need to set boys in a position and go, fucking do your job. Stick at it.
But then I think we had, if you remember the very first game of the season against Dundee, he was like the whole first half. The best thing about the game against Dundee was the fact that they all interchanged. Just whenever Dundee or whatever felt that they were getting to grips with Walker and Smith or Ginnelly and Kingsley, they switched. Do you know what I mean? So I think my biggest, and I agree with what you're saying, Braz, but my biggest annoyance about the thing on Saturday was it's the tempo in which we start matches. There's just no pace or fluidity of what we do. Like, do you know what I mean? We seem to start games really sluggish and take a bit of time to get into the game. The other thing, we seemed surprised that Alloa pressed us where they pressed us. You know, they pressed us high up the park, and we didn't seem to have an answer to that. And you even go on the guy, the Maroon report, he put a thing up during the week to say this is what Alloa do, this is how they'll play, this is their shape, they press from the front to do that. And it was like, right, okay, if this is a guy that's just on Twitter with nothing else today that can knock up that analysis, why did Hearts seem so taken aback with it? So anyway, that was fine. Again, first half, do you think any of the three, Freer, Roberts or Walker, Henderson, that's 4, I'm aware of that, did anything
solid?
Did anything to impress? Walker probably the best out of all of them.
I would say so. Walker had a fairly decent game, but again with Walker, he has probably a 1 in every 5 no bad game.
No,
but isn't he consistent enough? So
we've been giving him dogs abuse both on the pod and in the group chat for a good wee while now, saying that half the time he's dog meat. But no, not fair enough. How many?
Oh,
sorry, Corbett, you go.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say what he played as a 10 predominantly for that match.
Yeah,
he played out wide at parts, but Naismith wasn't there. And if you go back to the League Cup, when Walker looked very decent, he was playing in the 10. I mean, that was his kind of position, and I've always thought that a bit about Walker sometimes is, I don't know if he gets moody or whatever it is when he's asked to play a position that isn't his favourite position. He kind of is ineffective in those matches, because we see it all the time when he plays and he's on his game and he's playing when he's meant to play. He's undoubtedly one of our best players. He's a very good player. He can influence the match, but he just doesn't seem to do. Whereas, like, you look at someone like Andy Halliday, he might not have the best game, but he's no trying. Do you know what I mean? You could ask him to play left back, he'll play left back. Ask him to play deep, he'll play deep. Ask him to play forward, he'll play forward. He still shows for the ball, he still puts the runs in, he still tries. Walker kind of sulks about when he's no in his best position. So, second half, what did you think about Gary Mackay-Stevens? Do you think he had a good game, good impact in the game, or was it more about Ginnelly?
I think Ginnelly made the bigger difference. You could obviously, you've seen he's got a bit of class, but has he trained a week? He had to come in and play on that horrible pitch in Alloa against Alloa. Like, it's a bit tough. Obviously, he's created a few chances, and I think his bigger test will probably be Saturday, but you've said he's out on Saturday, is that right?
No, I don't know if he's out or not. Andy Halliday mentioned on the Open Goal podcast today that Gary Mackay-Stevens got concussion.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know if we have the same rules as everybody else, but I think that it's like, is it 10 days or something like that, or 2 weeks that you have to be out of the squad if you've got
Something
concussion?
along that, yeah.
So I don't know if it was just a flippant comment that he said and over-exaggerated what's happened, or if it's a genuine thing that he has concussion. So I don't know, but Ginnelly is just like we've spoke about before. He's everything that we've wanted for a long time. He's just direct all the time. He runs his man every time he gets the ball. He's constantly looking to do something, and if we can get the same out of Gary Mackay-Stephen on the other side, then that's pretty tasty stuff.
I love that about the goal. See, Lynn, it was a very clear, if it was anybody else in the park, there's a very clear run through the middle that he should have passed it, where the whole bench are going, fucking run him, run him, run him. You just knew how much of a whippet he was, and to get past him was just class.
And it's good that we've been so long since we've had anything like that, which is pretty good. Was there anything else of note anybody picked up on in the game?
One only from the highlight reel that someone shared on Twitter, which was the medicine comment. That was it.
Aye.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Take your fucking medicine.
Who do you think it was?
Did
then?
someone not say that it was Robbie?
Aye, but it's been later confirmed. People have said confirmed it was Robbie, and then other people saying that they've had it confirmed that it was Gary Locke. But whoever it was, hats doffed. Well played.
They can
more
come
of that,
on
please.
our podcast
More of that.
any time with Pat like that.
Right, so this week, what have we got? We've got
Twice.
Wraith Rovers, don't we? Tynecastle, isn't it?
Twice.
Aye, and then Dunfermline. So 3 big games coming up, which is pretty decent. We're going to do predictions then, Ando. We do
We
predictions
absolutely
for
will.
Saturday.
Give me a wee second. Chat amongst yourselves while get my wee notepad out.
Was anyone spot on?
No one was spot
Saturday?
on. Everybody got 2 points apart from Shanks, who predicted an Alloa victory. So the only thing is, there's no one of note below Shanks apart from Big Rab, our Dunfermline pal, who doesn't play every week. So that's a shame. What we might do, actually, and Corbett, I was going to speak to you about this, is if you can just text Rab for his predictions every week on the game that we're predicting, and we'll see if he manages to overtake anyone else.
Would he got some points for his Dunfermline prediction? Because he
did,
predicted
aye.
a draw, didn't
But I think it only puts him up to 4 points, and Shanks is on 6 or whatever it is. I can't remember. Check it out on the website. This is mystory.uk, and it's one of the feature items on the menu bar. So have a look.
Okay, so Wraith Rovers at home. Kev, what's your prediction?
I'll go with a repeat of Saturday's result, a 3-1 victory for Hearts.
Magic. Brad's
I've got that written down as well, 3-1.
Magic. Shanks
4-2 Hearts.
Magic. Tam
4-0. We'll keep a clean sheet this time.
Ballsy.
Ando.
I am going to go 3-0. 6-0 for
6-0.
Corbett. That's standard. You're saving me a task, because see, when I just copy and paste the code from the last time, I didn't even have to change your entry. It's always 6-0, so cheers.
I was halfway there. I was close. Close on Saturday. So there we go. Right. Cool. What we're going to do next? All right. Okay. Kev, let's get a wee quiz on the
shit,
go.
we've got a quiz tonight. I forgot about this. Dancer.
Aye.
I've not studied enough for Kev's one. Like,
You'll be fine.
Brilliant.
You'll be fine. My aim is to. In fact, I'm not going to be able to live up to last week's quiz. I'm just going to say it now. I've got a proper point structure, so again, I'll not be able to live up to last week's quiz. and I have tried to effectively make it a little bit more modern day because you boys always give me absolute pelters for it. So I will just go around the room as it is on my screen. We'll start off with question 1 for 1 point. Which player signed for Hearts having just won the European Championships while playing for his country? Was it A. Jankowskis, B. Fisas, C. Skatchel, or D. Rousset? And I will go out to Brad first of all.
Takas.
Okay. Next person on my list is Shanks.
Champions League. La 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 la.
Champions League. La 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 la. That's my answer to.
Oh, you are next, Corbett, so
That's my
that is
answer.
perfectly fine.
That's Fisas. We
Ando.
all know that.
Yep. And Tam, do you want to change
Tam
your
just
mind on that one?
Tam just scored out Russie.
I'll just go B as well, please.
Can we have
Did Russie
Kev,
ever get a cap for his country?
Kev,
Yes,
can we
he did.
introduce a deduction in the points for every time Tam mentions that he was one stop at the quiz league?
Hi. 100%. 100%. No, you're not. Shanks.
So Tam's just asked if we can check whether or not Russie ever had a cap for his country. Tam, can you just check that yourself?
I didn't actually ask. I just said, has Russie ever had one?
And the answer is yes. He played it at Wembley, which a game against England, and I think it was Alan Shearer's first ever game for England as well.
One cares, Kev, man.
Stay away from that
Google-
rabbit hole, Kev.
Yep,
Luckily,
I
exactly.
thought that was quite interesting, Kev. Thanks.
For the
Thanks.
listeners that
I enjoyed it.
worried, don't worry, because even though Shanks just scalped Tam's wee arse, he's got loads of Vaseline and soda cream in there for his wee sore bum anyway. So you can just leather that on for you. Right, number 2.
Question 2 for 2 points. Cult hero Pasquale Bruno signed from which Serie A side? Was it A. Juventus, B. Lecce, C. Inter, or D. Fiorentina? I'll go differently this time. I'll start with Tam.
Can you say them again, sorry?
Yeah, Celtic can. That was Juve, Lecce, Inter, or Fiorentina.
Lecce.
Okay.
Don't know.
To
Well, the one I
Ando.
was wanting isn't there. I wanted to say Torino, so by default I'll go Lecce. I'm in the same boat as Tam.
Okay. Okay, I can see why. So next is Corbett.
Lecce.
Oh.
We're all going to get put out.
Shanks.
I think I might have made an absolute lecture, but I went for D, Fiorentina.
Went for Fiorentina. Okay. And finally, Brad.
I know he played with both Lecce and Fiorentina, so I'm going to go Lecce.
Okey-doke. So the correct answer there was Lecce. So well done to each of you that got that right. Sorry,
Put
Shanks.
yourself on mute, Shanks. Oh, no, that's a point system, innit?
It's a points one.
is it-
And I've got a chart.
Is
that I
it
can actually
17
keep the
points for question 2 on the Shanks scale?
No. Just simply just question 2 and 2 points. Question 3. Hearts have had 2 Slovenian internationals play for the team. Matej Rapnik, and which other? Is it A. Christian Novak? Is it B. Robert Tomaszek? Is it C. Marian Kello? Or D. Adrias Struna? So I'm going to go out this time. I'm going to go to Corbett first.
Struna. I don't know.
Okay.
I
To
really want
Ando.
to say it's Robert Tomaszek. But I know it's probably wrong.
Stay there, man.
Robert Tomaszek is one of those answers
Oh.
to every quiz question, so please let it be him. I am.
So you going with Tomaszek?
stupidly, but it's for banter.
Okay. Brad.
I've got Struna.
Okay. Shanks.
Struna, no
Worse than a Mankwa. Worse than that boy from Nigeria, the left back, Struna. Utter huddy.
I don't think he was
Okay,
that bad.
Tam.
I've got Struna. I think he actually played against Scotland in a game.
I've made a total
okay.
Ricky Hunt of this, haven't I?
Yep, you're quite correct. The correct answer is
Shite.
Adrian Struna. The rest of them, I think Novak was
Was
Polish,
Czech
Tomaszek
Republic.
and Kello were
Or Slovakia. One of the two.
they were Slovakian.
Bollocks.
Tomaszek and Kello.
I thought
It's
Novak was
good.
Australian.
Okay, how many points?
That was
How
3
many points
points.
did I get for question
Points,
three?
thanks. 3 points for question 3.
Oh,
That's quite clever way of doing it. Question 4. Which Hearts manager missed the decisive penalty in a European final shootout? So a European final shootout. Was it A, George Burley, B, Shaba Laszlo, C, Graham Rix, D, Paulo Sergio? And for this one, I am going to
We'll
go
go
to
Paulo
Ando first of
Sergio.
all. 4 points. Paulo. Corbett.
George Burley.
Shanks.
I have to confess, I was still thinking about an answer, but I'm copying Corbett. I'm going with Burley
Okay.
because he's my favourite Hearts manager.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was your favourite podcaster.
I like your honesty. I like your honesty with that one, but that's good. So Tam.
I'm going to be different. I'll say Graham Rix.
Wait a minute, just
Graham Rix.
sorry, I'll go to Brad's and then I need to get clarity on the question again.
Okay,
I
and
have
then
not got a
Brad's.
clue what you're talking about.
I had Rick
Okay,
written down
so-
as well.
That's
Yeah,
his
Brad.
answer. Are you saying what Hearts manager missed in a penalty shootout in a European competition final? Right, okay,
Correct.
Yes.
fine. Just making sure.
So, which Hearts manager missed the decisive penalty in a European
Absolutely
final
has to be
shootout?
Sergio.
Okay. And the
Fuck
correct answer there is
off.
Graham Rix
Yeah.
for, when he played for Arsenal. So, there you go.
Did Sergio have quite a good
Tell
career?
me, I need more information, Kev. Is this like the World Cup? Oh, what? Sorry, what?
No, this was
Arsenal.
This was the Cup Winners' Cup for Arsenal, playing against, I believe it was Red Star Belgrade. Went to penalty shootout. He missed a decisive penalty. Red Star scored the winner, and they won the cup. What is there to ask?
Right, that's fine.
Well, you never made it clear. I thought it was international football. So
Let's also
actually-
not dive into the history of Graham Rex. Let's
That's a
move on.
minefield.
True enough.
Let's leave that.
So,
Yeah. Let's move on.
question 5.
Just a minor distraction.
Oh, see what you done there.
Question
Move on.
5. According to LondonHearts.com, what is the win percentage in games against Wraith Rovers? So, with this weekend's game, it's
Right.
closest to the pin will win 5 points.
Okay.
Okay? So I can tell you there has been 163 games, according again to London Hearts. So I will go to, on this occasion, I will go to Shanks for first go.
2 seconds. I'm just doing mathematics.
You,
Okay.
you just need to pick a number out of thin air, mate. It's not difficult.
Remember the last time you tried to answer in a percentage? Remember that?
I do, and it was painful.
So I think it's 3/4, Kev. 3/4.
Remainder two.
I'm going to say 78.2% is my answer.
78.2. To Tam,
61%.
61 dead.
Kev, what
Ando?
year were you born?
I was born in 76, mate.
I don't think it's as high as that. I'll go for 62. Just exactly.
Just put me there.
just one above Tam.
Corbett,
I'll stick to my trusty favourite number. 81. You don't know me. 81%. 81%.
81. And finally, Brad,
I've got 68% written down here.
68. Interesting. So, again, according to London Hearts, the correct answer is 63.19%.
Oh, yeah, Hursa.
So,
That's
well
mine.
You're a
done,
bastard.
Ando. So, Ando collects the 5
Thing is-
points for question 5 as he
I
was
was just being
closest
a
to the
dick to
pin.
Tam. That is all. I'll take that.
So you're
When
saying
all
I had
else
the brains?
fails,
That is-
that always works.
That is literally the first quiz question that Ando's got by not googling the answer. So well done.
How
You didn't get many of the rest, to be
how
fair,
many
so
did I get?
that's not very fair.
10,000 points for getting that one right, Kev?
Well, if Shanks had been doing this particular question, as it is question 5, and the answer was 3.19, you would have probably got 63
take
points
that.
for that particular one. But as
Oh,
it's me,
fuck
you
you
only
then.
got 5.
So
Right.
I got 8.
Who won? Or have we
So
got
we have
tie?
we have a tie.
Right.
So we have a tie between Brad's and Tam. So between Brad's and Tam, you got question 3 and question
So
4
then,
wrong,
yeah.
Ando. That's
Kev,
what happens.
Aye, but
remember
that's
that
not how maths
Tam,
work.
Tam is minus 1 point because he mentioned it was top of the league.
I didn't
So-
mention it.
He did. So he has to get a point taken off him. So
Yeah,
Brad's is
aye.
the winner.
No.
Yeah.
Bradley's dressed as Neil Doncaster.
Aye.
Oh, how many points was that? So anyway, I do have a final question. If you want to go to a tiebreaker between them, or we can just say that Ando was the winner.
We'll just say that Ando was the winner. It's
Oh,
fine.
Tiebreak.
Ando got less
Tiebreaker,
points.
let's go.
Ando got
Okay.
8 points.
Again, just for a bit of fun, I went on Google Maps and checked this out. So Hearts, again, as I say, plays Wraith Rovers this weekend. If you were to walk from Wraith Rovers Starts Park to Tynecastle, which is a 24-mile trip, what is the actual average time it would take you to actually get there? So
Like, with my
hours
legs
and minutes.
With my legs are Tamsby stumpers. Like, what?
Can I not just
I think they're taking
can I
it as
just
the
like,
average
jump on the
man.
train and get there far faster because I'm employed and I earn an income, so I don't need to walk anywhere.
I'm saying 8 hours and 10 minutes because my
I've
favourite number is 81.
8
Okay,
hours.
8 hours.
I've got 8 hours and 14 written down, so that's really close, Corbett.
Oh, man.
Okay, 8:10, 8:14, Tam.
8:13 then.
8:13. Okay, I like the way you're going with that. So
That's stupid.
as
You've
it was,
give yourself a wiggle room of 3.
No, you're doing it.
I said that. I said 8:10.
I
And then
you're
you
doing
said
it.
8:30. You
It's
said
between me and
8:40.
Brad's.
You're not in the
This is for-
tiebreak.
Just for 27 points. Right.
so
Shank.
the winner this evening then would be Mr. Bradley with 8 hours and 14 minutes. Google Maps tell us it's 8 hours and 31.
That's
So-
quite good.
They're slow, but
To be fair, I
Aye,
actually had written down like 4 hours, so I would have been nowhere near.
so
Right.
Also, to be fair, I've seen Tam run home for Club Earth, and he can do it pure rapid. So I would question Google.
We've seen him run the toilet tonight. We can see how quick it can go.
I'd swim in the Forth as well. I'd be quite fast. Well quick.
So
Right.
well done to Brads for winning this week's podcast quiz. Well done.
Well done,
just
Brad.
win the podcast.
Well done.
There you go.
Right. Hall of Fame, Ando. Let's see. We had the voting's been open for a few weeks now. We've got a clear and obvious and runaway leader. Who won?
Well, there's
vote
no other
then?
way of letting you down gently. It was me, or rather my nomination, Rudy Scatchell. So Rudy won it with 63% of the vote. In second place, we have Gary Locke with 16%. Following that, we have the Hibs team beaten in the Scottish Cup semi on 12%. Takis Visas on 5%. Adam Eckersley and Gennaro Zifuk on 2%. And Brian Jackson on 2% as well. So thanks very much. Thanks very much. All right. This is what happens when you stay in Geordie land too long. I've got some sort of Geordie crawling into me there. That doesn't sound right when I say that out loud either, does it? Oh dear. You know what's absolutely shit is that because this is video, I can't just trim my nonsense chat out of this anymore.
That's got to stay in there. You did have a Geordie crawling at you. So.
Hell.
Don't worry.
That's blocked
Exactly.
on YouTube week 1.
Well played. It was all my fault. Thanks. So I win. Rudy Scatchell, 63%. And as is customary, it's now up to the rest of us to decide on who we thinks gets the host's vote.
Yep. Right, who joins? Right. Well, I vote for Gary
also
Locke.
vote for Gary Locke.
So,
I can't vote for Gary Locke, so I'll vote
Why
for
can't you
the
vote
Hibs
for
team.
Gary Locke?
because it was my nomination. It's not really fair.
This is how a
it's no debt, it's
democracy
fine,
works, Tam. You can vote for whoever is on the ballot paper, and Gary Locke is on the paper, so you can vote for it. Okay, well,
Right, I vote
it's
Gary
now,
Locke, man.
You try.
it's
Is it
now
election,
beyond a
are you?
doubt, so it doesn't matter what Kev and Shanks say. So, but well, leave it open.
But you kind of no. Considering that Shanks nominated Lockie as the most handsome in the awards, I'm assuming that he will be for Gary Locke getting into the Hall of Fame, as will Kev.
I thought you were going to say
Well-
that Shanks would be right behind Gary Locke. You lie.
Shanks, want to defend yourself?
Well, seeing as Big Takis can't get on a flight because Boris has fucked it for everyone, I'm more likely to bump into Lockie in the tiny arms, so I'll go Locke.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right. Well, there we go. So the next two inductees into the This Is My Story Hall of Fame are Sir Rudy Scatchell and Gary Locke. We'll try
If
our
anyone
best.
knows
didn't want to
either
vote.
of those people and want them to get us on the
Sorry.
podcast,
Oh, Brad.
Actually, just so that for clarification, Brad sent in his nomination via email, but it went to a spam folder. Never got it, and now he's changed his mind on the vote and he's changed it to somebody else. So typical SFA. Right. Aye. We can get. Why? We'll try and reach out if anybody knows. Get us Gary Locke, man. We love Gary Locke.
Here,
Get him
we're
on the podcast.
We're on the video
It's going to
now.
happen.
He's gonna watch this. He's gonna laugh his ass off because let's be honest. He's sat at his computer in the Hearts offices. What else has he got to do apart from listen to us? So don't worry. I'll send it straight to his
Big ass.
inbox. Gary.Locke@hearts.com or whatever it is.
That's definitely what they tell Lockie to do. They've got no real jobs for him. Go and watch reruns of the games, mate. It'll be brilliant. You'll love it. Go and
Oh,
watch
no,
YouTube.
they're just like shouting down again. Take the Hearty Harry costume off. You've got people paid into hospitality. Do your job. Shanks.
I actually follow a boy on Facebook called West Lothian Shoes. Check him out; he's really entertaining. And he does really personalised Nike Air Force Ones. So I'm going to get him some. This Is My Story podcast, white gutties, and that'll get him
Actually,
on the pod.
That'll get
I
him on.
thought you said West Lothian cheese. I was like, that sounds
Aye,
amazing.
what did you say?
No, that's actually my cat's Instagram.
Never mind, Locke. Get me some of the gutties, Shanks.
Grown men wearing Air Force One is unacceptable.
I thought that was a plane.
Here
man.
we go.
Is that a pair of shoes? That's
Aye.
definitely a plane. Like.
It's a pair of shoes. Like, didn't get Ando started on planes,
No, we
man.
don't-
We've not
we
got enough time. We're
Okay.
already at an hour and 30 minutes. Right. Aye, that's pretty much. We'll do the answers. Obviously, I've got here. We'll talk a bit more about the initiative thing that we had with Hearts. Obviously, it's a great thing that we're all behind. We're like fully behind because it is tough. We like to make a joke and like to have a laugh and all that sort of stuff. And this podcast started because of lockdown and try to do anything to keep ourselves sane. So anything that we can do as a podcast to reach out and help anybody that's maybe struggling or is missing the nonsense like this. This is what we do every Tuesday. We look forward to it because this replaces us getting to go to the football, getting to have a wee release, getting a bit of patter and a bit of banter about the football team that we love, Mechanical MC. So anybody that wants to get involved, it's a great initiative. It's a good idea, and anything that we can do to help anybody that's struggling, we're all on board. All agree, boys?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Definitely.
So keep a look on the socials. Like I said, as it stands now, it's probably going to be called Talk of the Toon. It's going to be either post or pre-match on Saturdays, and we'll maybe do one midweek. It's going to be in collaboration with Big Hearts, the charity, the football club, and a few other podcasts as well. Are going to host, and once we know a bit more of the finer points and what's going to be happening, we'll keep a look at our socials. We'll announce it together. But it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff as well. So looking forward to that. Right, we do the answers to the conundrums, and then we'll
Aye.
wrap this up.
Go for it.
Cool.
Oh dear.
Right.
Right.
Number one. You only get the points
All right.
if you get the
I'll
accent.
volunteer
Right.
for this one then.
Number one. Ricardo Fuller's mum's favourite thing to do. Initials A H.
Right.
Go.
Me
I feel
too.
confident for this
But
one too.
at the risk of offending people with my accent, Ricardo Fuller, I'm sure, is from a Caribbean nation, maybe Jamaica or somewhere like that. And his mum likes to go on holiday, you know, man. So it's Andy Halliday.
Andy Halliday.
Yes,
He loves to go on
smashed
the
it.
holiday.
Smashed
There
it.
you go. Andy Halliday is
tick.
number one. Right.
I had Aaron Hickey written down, man.
Can you explain it?
What was your thinking
No,
about
thank
the
you.
accent?
It's okay. Just move
No,
on.
no,
Leave it at that.
Is she like getting a hickey? She American, is she?
Nah, running quickly. I don't know.
Right, how do you
run
mute him
quickly.
again? And this is a
No.
new platform, right? Mute.
Class. Right, number 2, a heavy night in the gear. EF.
Elliot Freer, yeah, heavy night in the
Has
gear.
to be.
Get freer. When you've been on the gear, you get freer. There you go. And then number 3, what I get after an hour on Pornhub watching this man at his best. CG. Yes, Shanks.
I think you get a hard on, and therefore you like Craig Gordon.
Aye, I don't get a hard one. I get a Gordon. Aye, that's right. Because I'm watching him on Pornhub doing his best stuff. There you go. Right, no
You didn't
tiebreakers.
spend longer there because you just looked at this season's list of players.
Okay.
You could tell.
Aye, that's all I had. It was actually the team that played on Saturday. There you go. You're getting no. There's no tiebreakers. You just deal with it. You've all got the same.
It's good. I got 0. So we're good.
Good. There you go. I mean, Aaron Hickey was ridiculous. There you go. Right. Anything else, boys? We missed
No,
anything
I think
to
that's
talk
us.
about?
No, I think that.
Right.
Cool. As always, boys, it was good to talk to you, and
Will
we'll
do.
see you next week.
Cheers.
See you later.
Well, mate.
Catch you later.
Good out.
What a beautiful day.